Trump fined $9,000 for violating gag order. JUTC bus driver charged for allegedly stealing bus fare. Reggae girls Khadija Shaw is out for the rest of the season. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. A judge in Donald Trump's hush money trial found that the former president violated a gag order 9 times, fining him $9,000. The judge has also warned that he could be jailed for further offenses. The former president is accused of trying to cover up a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels before he won the 2016 election, which prosecutors said was election interference. He has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records and, of course, denies any sexual encounter with Miss Daniels. Miss Daniels said yes, he did have sexual encounter with her. Her lawyer said he received the money from Michael Cohen to pay his client, and Michael, who was Trump's right-hand hatchet attorney, said yes, he paid the money to them, so they would not go to the public with this story. A taxi operator who was caught on a viral video smashing the glass of a Mitsubishi Pajero motor vehicle and attacking the driver during a road rage incident along Halfway Tree Road on Friday has now been charged. Assistant Commissioner Gary McKenzie, commanding officer for the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, said the unlicensed taxi operator Peter Bramwell was charged following an investigation into the incident, and it was reported that Bramwell got into a rage and smashed the glass on the driver's side of the Pajero's motor vehicle following a collision. Bramwell, who was driving a Toyota Probox, also pulled a machete and wounded the driver of the car. ACP Mackenzie said Bramwell, who has more than 3 dozen warrants out for his arrest, has now been slapped with a long list of charges. Bramwell has 61 outstanding traffic tickets and about 40 warrants for his arrest. A man broke into a hotel room at a well-known resort in Ocho St. Anne and took money and personal belongings from 2 American visitors. The St. Anne police have begun searching for the perpetrator. The break-in happened on Monday night between 11:30 and 4:20 a.m. on Tuesday, according to investigators. According to reports, the complainant, 37, and her mother, 57-year-old, who were on a visit from New York City, went to bed at about 11:30 on Monday evening. The Americans found that someone had broken into their room through the balcony at about 4 in the morning. Mobile phones, computers, and bank cards were among the items stolen. 2 charges have been brought against a bus driver for the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company, the JUTC, after an altercation with an enforcement team member. According to reports, Kendrick Bailey, the driver, was operating a bus that travels the 97 route between Bull Bay and Kingston's downtown. 19 passengers is said to have paid the driver their fares, but when JUTC enforcement officers halted the bus at about 8 in the morning, they noticed that none of the passengers had bus tickets. When a passenger boards a bus and pays their fee, they must be issued a traffic ticket according to JUTC regulations. The JUTC uses this technique to safeguard the fare box and stop dishonest drivers from keeping the money they collect for themselves. The JUTC has been battling to stop drivers from robbing the firm of millions of dollars annually. The enforcement team notified Bailey that he was breaking the rules and that he could face consequences. He is said to have become agitated and to have grabbed a knife, pointing it at a female enforcement team member. After seeing the event, police patrol team members took Bailey into custody, and he was charged with being armed with an offensive weapon and assault at common law. He is now booked to appear in court on Thursday, May 30th. A 27-year-old Mason was slapped with charges of resisting arrest and assaulting a police officer after he allegedly became boisterous and physically assaulted a police officer in an incident on Saturday, April 27. According to reports, police were conducting an operation at the home of Romaine Perry of Burke Road in Old Harbor in St. Catherine. Perry's room was reportedly searched, and in his presence, when 4 5.56 cartridge and 1 9mm cartridge were found. Perry reportedly became boisterous following the discovery, hitting an officer in his face in an attempt to prevent the police from arresting him. Perry is also facing possession of ammunition charges, and charges were subsequently laid against him on Sunday, April 29th, and now a court date is being arranged. An investigation is now underway following the death of a 16-year-old boy from Jamaica after he was subjected to racial bullying by classmates in Lower Paxton Township in Pennsylvania in the U.S. Security footage shows Justin Johnson going outside his house on Friday night and then appears to show him being chased by 3 white boys while racially insensitive language is being used. According to his father, Justin, who migrated from Jamaica 2 years ago, has sickle cell disease and is not supposed to exert himself. Sometime later, the teen was found unresponsive inside the home, and he would have celebrated his 17th birthday yesterday. On to sports, the New York Knicks gave a game away last night and will now head back to Philly for Game 6 instead of sending the 76ers home. With 6.6 seconds on the clock and with Philly's Moxie with the ball, all the Knicks had to do was to foul him for a free throw and then get the ball back and let the clock run out. But they did not, and Moxie sinked the ball, tied the game, sending it to overtime. And from there, in overtime, the 76ers took over and won 112 to 106 to leave the series at 3-2 in favor of the Knicks. The series now goes back to Philly home field, and home team always have the advantage, so we could be looking at a Game 7 winner take all. Meanwhile, Miami's down 3-1 will face Boston tonight in what could be their last game of the season tonight, unless something miraculous happens. On to football, it has been confirmed that Reggae girl and Manchester City striker Khadija Shaw has been ruled out for the remainder of the season with a foot injury. Shaw is the Women's Super League top scorer this season with 21 goals in 18 games. However, the Jamaica international will miss the remainder of the campaign after injuring her foot during City's 5-0 victory over West Ham last Sunday, where she bagged a brace. On to Premier League, after his stoppage time goal which guaranteed Annette Gardens a place in the semi-final of the Ray and Neville Jamaica Premier League playoff, Captain Fabian Reid praised his team's determination. In an intense match, the Junglers defeated Portmore United 1-0 on Monday at Sabina Park in the second leg of their quarter-final match to progress 2-1 overall. And throughout the game, Annette had several chances to score goals but was never able to pull off that victory. Reid was denied by Portmore goalie Benjamin Williams, who made a great stop to keep the score tied, while Willis and Kahim Dixon both found the woodwork. Although Portmore had a few chances as well, their greatest opportunity fell to top scorer Siobhan Walsh, who was unable to overcome goalie Eric Edwards. But in the 90th minute, Reid's close-range goal sent Annette into the round of 4, where they will now take on Cavaliers. And according to Reid, he was sure that his squad would win. And don't forget that the best news and sports takes place on this station. If you ever miss the news, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.